Now let's talk about a great opportunity for your business. It's called grant funding. Now, what is a grant? A grant is an amount of money that is given to you for a particular objective which you do not need to pay back. So pretty much from my research about the US, grant funding is very limited to small businesses. In the UK, there are some grants for small businesses, but they're quite small. So you could get a grant for £50, £500, sometimes £1,000. But going beyond that, you don't generally get it for businesses. But there is a way, and it's not all bad news. Let me talk about the grants situation I'm very familiar with, and that's in the UK. And you can apply this to whatever country you are from, because you will still find it to be so. Now, grants are available from two main sources. The first one is government grants, which is available to help particular industries. So when the government of a particular country is trying to influence a number of changes within an industry, let's say technology, they will give some grants to companies who might want to conduct research or promote a particular lifestyle or for the benefit of the community. So that's one reason why government will give a grant. The second set of grants in the UK comes from philanthropists, which are very wealthy individuals who want to see a change within the community. Oh, also there's a third one, lottery. In the UK, we have 3 or 4 major lottery companies, and they contribute money towards a grant making association. Now, pretty much where you can probably have some benefit is if you go for the grant funding from the philanthropists and the ones from the lottery funds. Okay, if you're in the UK, if you're in another country, you have to check what those are. And if you're in the US, if you check on the SBA website, it tells you the available fund grants that are that you can probably apply for. That's sba.gov / contains facts about government grants in the US. Okay, now, why would a grant body give you some money? They will give you money because they have an objective that they want to fulfill within the community. So let me give an example that we may all be familiar with. So a grant making body wants to get young mothers or young teenage mothers back to work. So they're going to give grants to companies that can help as many as specified number of young teenage mothers back into work. So if you have in your company the ability to get teenage mothers back into work, then you can get a grant. Now you say, well, that's not what I want to do. I want to make cups, and I want to make softwares, and I understand that, but I'm going to tell you something now. The grant making bodies do not care about your business. Now, that sounds harsh, but it's true. And the sooner you understand that, the better you can move along with getting the grants, okay? Unless there are grants specifically available for startup businesses, which they are extremely very hard to come by, okay? But I'm not going to say there are none, because you might be able to find one. But unless that, then the next thing you can do is what I'm trying to tell you now. So please pay attention and listen. Now, the grant making bodies, those who give the grants, do not care about your business. What they care about is their own objectives. The grant funders' objectives is what they care about. They care about the fact that they want to, like I said, use the example I said earlier, they want to get pregnant, they want to get teenage mothers back into work. That's what they care about, okay? Period. So, your solution is this. If you have, or someone in your team has the ability to get teenage mothers back into work because they've been associated with a teenage mother in the past, or they have a contact, or they know what they need to do, then you make an application. What then happens is, when you get the grant and you get paid, you can get paid for delivering the services, for delivering services that get teenage mothers. As an example, you get paid a grant. So let's take an amount. Let's say you get £50,000 to do a project that can get teenage mothers back into work. Okay, and as part of the costs, you're gonna get paid £30,000 to deliver a 20-day workshop or whatever. So now you're going to get paid that £30,000 from the grant. That's quite allowable. That's an expense, and so that's okay. That's not stealing. That's not diverting funds. That's okay. That's the way it works. Okay, you get paid that £30,000 out of the 50. Then you can use that £30,000 to run your business, because it's now become your personal money for delivering the outcomes that the grant funding body wanted. Let me say it again. The only way forward with grants is that you find a grant making body that you are able to deliver their requirements. And we use the examples of getting young teenage mothers back into work. Okay, so if you can deliver services, projects, workshops that can accomplish that for the grant body, let's say they give you £30,000 as part of your application process. Anyway, you're going to put in a budget. So let's say in that £50,000 that you get, the cost for the workshops or delivery of the workshop is £30,000, and you are the one delivering the £30,000 workshop. Then you can earn that £30,000 and then use that money to do whatever you like, i.e. start your own business. That is the only way forward with grant making bodies, especially in the UK. And there are lots of grants available to do projects. I've helped people get grants of about £12,000, £10,000, £4,000, £5,000. Also, there are big grants, like even £100,000 grants that you can get. But unless you have a track record, what you need to do is to piggyback on an existing business, an existing grant delivering body, or a company that is very clued up on how to apply for grants and deliver the outcomes that the grant bodies want. So now, what's the process of making an application? The first thing you want to do is to look around at the grant making bodies and decide what projects they have and the ones you can deliver. All right? There's no point in you going to apply for money. You know you're not able to deliver the project. They're just going to take you to court and make sure they get the money back. That's just the way it's going to go. But you make sure you can deliver the project. Then you make an application. Now, the application process is quite lengthy, and they do quite a bit of search, not on your credit, but just to make sure that you are the one, you are who you say you are. And if you have a track record, it's very good. If you're going for a large amount, now, in the grant system, a large amount starts from £5,000. So at £5,000, or if you're applying for over £5,000, you now have to become or set up a vehicle, a business structure called Limited by Guarantee. You have to be a non-for-profit making company. If you want to apply for grants over £5,000, you have to be a non-for-profit. And the easiest and quickest vehicle business structure to set up is a company limited by guarantee. Last time I know, you needed 2 trustees to be part of that process. So you need 2 people. You need to find somebody that you can trust with you that will help you to also make the application to actually register as a non-for-profit making body. So once you've done that, the next thing is kind of research first for yourself the company. Make sure you can make the application, but you must have set yourself up before you apply for the money, because one of the criteria is that they'll only give money to non-for-profit companies, so you have to become one before you can apply for the grant. And another thing to remember is that you don't have to be you can have what I mean is you can have as many companies as you want anyway. So the profit-making company will be a limited company, but the grant delivering company will be a company limited by guarantee. So you can do that. There's no problem with that. Okay. Now, let's now move on a little bit further. So once you know you can fulfill the objective, you make the application. The process can take anything from 2 months to about 6 months. It just really depends on how busy they are. As you can imagine, they get loads of applications, so you got to make sure that your application is really spot on. You answer all the questions. And if you want to go for a big grant, like I said, if you want to go for large amounts of money in your application, you can apply with you can make a joint application with an existing non-for-profit organization. That would really help your cause and make sure that you get the money that you want. So just remember what all the things I've said. Nobody cares about your business. They only care about the objectives that they want to accomplish within the society. And as long as you can deliver or accomplish what the grant funding body wants to do in the society, you're pretty welcome to grants. And there are lots of grants. Apparently in the UK in particular, there are always millions of pounds unclaimed every single year. So grant is actually some money that you can lay your hands on. All right, let me recap on what I've said. Yeah, make an application to deliver a project, but make sure you research the companies before you apply to them. Make sure you can deliver the project for which you're applying for. You must complete the outcomes. They will set certain outcomes that you have to meet. Make sure you complete those. Otherwise, you can just land yourself in a mess, and you don't really want to do that. And finally, you can now use the income that you make from the grant as a result of delivering the grant, so as a result of delivering the project. You can earn some money, and from the money you earn, you can apply that to run your own business.